Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about how neglecting your psychological needs is preventing you from losing fat, building your confidence, and helping you achieve your dream body. I did write down a bunch of notes so that I don't forget anything because this is a very deep topic that is just very overlooked, and I focus on this a lot in my one-on-one coaching program because I understand just how important it is. I went to school for psychology, I have a psychology background, I understand how the brain works, and I think that a lot of people don't put as much time and effort into their mind and they just focus too much on aesthetics. But when you foster the right environment for your mind, the aesthetic goals come in time and a lot more easily, and it's a lot more rewarding. You want your mind and body to work together, okay? You want them to be on the same plane. It's gonna make your life a lot easier. It's gonna make the process a lot more enjoyable. You can't neglect your mental health. You can't neglect your psychological needs, chasing a certain type of body or physique. This is something that I wish I would have focused more on when I first got into the gym. Of course, when I first got into the gym, it was for aesthetic reasons, and I think for most people, that's what it is, and that's okay if that's what is motivating you. But looking a certain way is meaningless if you're suffering mentally. If you're not fostering the right environment for your mind, that is going to lead to suffering at some point. If it's not yet, it's coming. You can only keep up with unsustainable habits for so long, just to look a certain way, and it will come at a cost. You don't want it to be your mental health. No physique is worth compromising your mental health. All right? The first thing I want to talk about is why educating yourself is super important. Understanding scientifically how fat loss works, or what is going to lead you to your goals in a sustainable way, is super important in allowing yourself to give you the grace that you need when you're embarking on your fitness journey. Because it's not going to be easy, okay? If your goal is fat loss is a skill. It's a skill. It takes time to learn. It takes trial and error. You're not going to be perfect. That's part of the process. That's where giving yourself grace comes in, because we can't be experts at something that is new to us. Think about the first time you tried anything. You're not an expert when you first start something. You have to work at it and practice. It takes time. Understanding scientifically how to reach your fitness goals is going to help you to stop comparing yourself to other people and stop comparing your journey to other people's. It's going to help you accept your own genetics and strive to be the best version of yourself. It'll help you set realistic expectations for yourself and to understand what the process is going to look like for your specific goals. It's going to help you to not beat yourself up when you're inevitably not perfect, and it will reduce your stress and negative self-talk. Transparently, it took me years to achieve the body that I have, going through intentional phases of building muscle and cutting body fat. Years. I don't say that to discourage you. It will happen more quickly for some. It'll happen less quickly for others. Genetics are out of your control. And the sooner that you accept that, the easier this process will be. That's why you should never compare yourself to anybody else. You don't know what their goals are, their genetic background, their history, their environment, their financials. There's so many things that go into somebody's lifestyle. It's a waste of your time to compare. Complete waste of your time. Use that energy on yourself. So I'm going to start this video by talking about my own personal journey, because I'm sure a lot of you watch my videos and look at me and think, wow, she's so confident, like she seems like she has it all together, she's so well mentally. It took me a lot of work to get where I'm at, and I still have to actively reframe and work my mindset every single day. I continuously have to brush up on the skills that I've taught myself and the habits that I've implemented. It's a never-ending journey. You have to keep working at it. I've also been in therapy for majority of my life. I'm 26 years old for anybody that is new here. I have been on a fitness journey for 9 years. I've been coaching women for over 2 years now. I've built my own business. I'm an entrepreneur. I teach a lot about mindset work and reframing in my coaching program. I used to struggle a lot with body dysmorphia, especially when I was in high school and comparing myself to other people and comparing myself to, fitness influencers. That was like a new thing at that time when Instagram became big and there was the big influencers like Tammy Hembrow, Megan Grubb, Chrissy Sella, if you know any of those people. You know, I was a 16, 17-year-old girl comparing myself to those women who were a lot older than me. And of course, my peers, I compare myself to my peers. I think it's just a natural part of life. Obviously, being human, there is going to be some level of comparison, but what's important is fostering the right mindset and creating boundaries with yourself and understanding these things so that you can keep things into perspective. When I really started focusing on all the psychological aspects and not just the aesthetics, that is when I realized how little of importance your physical appearance is. Yes, it's important to be healthy, and of course we all want to be fit and look good and feel good about ourselves, but that looks different for everybody. Fit looks different on everybody. I truly believe that. Your physical appearance, the way that you look, is meaningless if you're mentally unwell. I would not want to trade places with anybody that in theory has a great body but is mentally ill as shit. Especially now with TikTok and the exposure that we have to other people, a lot of the fitness influencers that you look up to, their physiques, you want their body. You think that you'd be so happy if you only looked like them. You see 1 minute of their life on social media and you don't know what is going on behind closed doors. And I promise you that majority of you would not want to trade places with them if you knew how mentally ill they were. And I say this because it's quite obvious to me, and when you build your entire brand and who you are based off of your physical appearance, of course you are going to give so much value to that. And it's really not healthy. It's not a healthy way to live your life, to constantly be worrying about how you're perceived and how your body's being perceived and maintaining a certain body. It's a lot of stress, and genuinely I feel bad for those people. It's very sad to me, but I just want you to understand that looks are not everything if you're mentally unwell. Looks are meaningless if it's making you mentally ill. If your lifestyle is making you mentally ill just to look a certain way, how the fuck is that worth it? Life is too short to be caught up in that bullshit, all right? You can feel and look amazing without running yourself into the ground. That's what my program's all about. That's how I achieved all my results. Minimal, relaxed fitness. I am I always label myself as a lazy girl because I really am. I want to do the bare minimum to get max results. That's my whole philosophy. Fitness should enhance your life, not control it. I eat whatever the fuck I want, within reason, all right? Within reason. I'm not going to be gluttonous. And I do care about my physical appearance to some extent. Let's get that straight. But it's definitely not the most important thing to me, and I do enjoy sweet treats and food that brings me happiness and joy, with no regard to how it makes my body feel, okay? Because I'm a human. And it's not that deep. Moral of the story is, these are just things that I wish I had realized when I was younger. And I want you to stop focusing so much on the end result and focus on enjoying the process. Focus on building these sustainable habits and all the positive mental benefits that you're experiencing from building a routine that you like and enjoy, and eating meals that are consistent and give you energy and make you feel good and feel good on your digestion. I can even say from my experience with working with a lot of different women, like the women that come into my program, majority of the time have fat loss goals, which is totally valid. We all see ourselves different ways, and I could look at somebody and think that they look amazing and perfectly healthy, and they could want to lose 10 to 15 more pounds. You know what I mean? And it's not my place to decide what is best for somebody. Of course, I can advise based on my experience and what I think, but I know what it feels like to be uncomfortable in your body, no matter how other people are perceiving you. Obviously, you perceive yourself a certain way, but I also think that there needs to be some self-awareness and understanding of what is actually realistic for you, how your quality of life is, just to look a certain way. Because sometimes girls come into my program and think that they have 15 to 20 pounds to lose, and I'm like, you'll be shocked at how much better you feel if you lose 5 to 10 pounds. I'm not discouraging you and saying it can't be done. Of course it can, but you might be surprised at how great you feel, and that maybe you don't want to lose any more fat than that. Maybe you're happy with your body composition and your quality of life. So I think wanting to lose body fat and look a certain way is natural, especially as women, and societal pressure and just the shit that you see online. It's natural to want to be leaner, skinnier, if you will. But it's definitely not everything. And, when I was in the skinniest body that I've been in my adult life, I was not happy. And thankfully, I do have self-awareness, and I was able to see and understand for myself, okay, skinny is actually not that great. I was pretty fucking miserable. I know the weight range that I feel good at, I feel healthy at, my quality of life is great. I'm able to go out to eat, drink alcohol in moderation, and enjoy my life. Like I said, life is too short. I don't want to dedicate my entire existence to eating 100% healthy and clean and being in the gym 4 to 5 days a week. It's not for me. It's not for me. A lot of times the original idea that you have in your head of what you look like, you don't understand the cost that comes with that. In theory, it seems like it's great to have goals and to want to look a certain way, but when you actually start and you're doing the thing and you realize the sacrifices that you have to make, a lot of times it might not be worth it to you, and that is totally okay. That's totally okay. I think it's great to have goals and to push yourself, but also to have that self-awareness and understand, is this taking away from my quality of life? Do I really care to put in the effort just to look a certain way? And am I going to be able to keep up with and maintain this while keeping my mind healthy? You have to be really honest with yourself in order to evaluate that. People get way too caught up in the aesthetics, and it makes the process miserable, and it is mentally draining. And it also will distort the way that you see yourself, especially if you do get down to a very lean physique. And if you do it in an unhealthy way, you're always going to be comparing yourself to that past body, even if it wasn't healthy, even if you can acknowledge that it wasn't healthy and that's not where you should be. I just don't think it's worth I don't think it's worth pushing yourself to that point. I urge you not to do that to yourself, because it's going to make your life a lot more difficult. Also, confidence is a mindset. You can choose to be confident right now, no matter what the fuck you look like. Think about people that you see out on the street that are super confident, and they're not the skinniest person ever. Confidence has nothing to do with what you physically look like. It's a mindset. You can choose to be confident no matter what you look like. I know that's easier said than done, but when you are practicing healthy habits and fostering the right mindset, it's a lot easier to be confident. Be confident in the actions that you're taking every day. Be confident in who you are. Practicing healthy habits, practicing reframing and mindset work is going to build your confidence. The physical changes that come as a result of that are just a happy bonus. You don't need to wait until you look a certain way in order to be confident. Honestly, I have been confident pretty much my whole life. Even when I was at the peak heaviest I've ever been, I was still confident. Because I have a great personality, I love myself, and I know it's not all about how I look. It's literally a mindset. You can be confident no matter what. That's why I love myself so much that I'm not afraid of gaining fat. If I'm 10 pounds heavier than I am right now, okay. That's just the season of life I'm in, fine. And right now, I love myself, obviously. It's just a mindset. It's a skill, actually. Confidence is a skill too. Fat loss is a skill, confidence is a skill. Things that you have to practice. When you create healthy habits and a lifestyle that you enjoy, your confidence is naturally going to increase. What's up, buddy? You have a friend joining us. So I want to discuss what happens when you neglect your psychological needs and how this impacts your fitness journey. If you don't meet your psychological needs, your stress is going to be a lot higher. Things like connection, rest, autonomy. If you don't prioritize your rest, your relationships, connections with other people, your relationship with yourself and creating boundaries, or just not acknowledging any of the small wins and shitting on yourself constantly, you're going to be chronically stressed. Stress definitely makes you hungrier and makes your ability to judge and perceive situations a lot worse, because you're going to be more emotional when you're making decisions, which makes it harder to stick to a calorie deficit or stick to your workout routine or stick to your steps, any of your healthy habits. And also, it's going to make your recovery from your workouts not as good. A big one, more emotional eating and binge eating tendencies. I see this so often with people in my program. My own self personally, it happens. If you're not meeting your needs with yourself, your relationships with other people, relaxation, hobbies, downtime, food will become your coping mechanism and the fastest mood fix. It'll be like a quick fix that you can get that's going to make you feel good, get that dopamine. But it's not healthy. Food is not a healthy coping mechanism. A lot of times this is going to cause you not to listen to your body and to just be eating. Sometimes it can be out of boredom too, but emotionally eating because you're not meeting your needs, boredom eating, eating as a means to get dopamine. Not meeting your psychological needs can also cause a loss of motivation and consistency because psychological needs fuel intrinsic motivation. For those of you that don't know what intrinsic motivation is, I'm going to read a definition for you. Intrinsic motivation is the drive to engage in activities for the inherent satisfaction and enjoyment they provide rather than for external rewards or pressures. So this would be working out because it makes you feel good, eating healthy because it makes you feel good, not because, oh, this is going to help me lose fat, oh, this is going to make my body look like this. It's like doing things for the mental benefits. Like the activity itself is the reward. For example, here it says, it's about doing something because it's personally interesting, challenging, or enjoyable, with the activity itself being the reward. This contrasts with extrinsic motivation, which involves doing something for external incentives like money, praise, or avoiding punishment. So if you feel unfulfilled and you're not meeting your needs and you feel unsupported, obviously it's a lot harder to stick to a training program, to stick to your calorie deficit, or even just basic habits like sleep hygiene, getting enough sleep. Poor sleep quality is probably one of the worst things that you can do for yourself on a fitness journey. If you have to skip a workout because you need to prioritize your sleep, do it. If you have poor sleep, it's going to negatively impact every other area of your life. Another big one is the all or nothing mindset. If you don't take care of yourself psychologically and focus on getting out of the all or nothing mindset, you're going to self-sabotage. When you're already mentally depleted and you've messed up on your meal plan or your calorie deficit, and maybe you ate over like 200 calories, and then you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna restart tomorrow and I may as well just go fucking crazy. That is the opposite of what you should do. The extremes. You want to get away from the extremes because you don't need to quit, you don't need to start over, you just need to keep going. That's how you build habits. So now we're going to talk about how to fix it. Things that you can do to support and fulfill your psychological needs. Your autonomy, feeling in control of the choices that you're making. Because you are in control. At the end of the day, you are in control of every choice that you make. It's a matter of perception. This comes into play a lot when you're being too strict with yourself and trying to have a perfectionist mindset because you're forcing something. If your goal is fat loss and you have a rigid timeline and you expect yourself to be perfect and you get all upset and derailed from one day of not hitting your steps or going over your calorie deficit, you're going to self-sabotage yourself because you're not giving yourself grace. If you think to yourself, oh, I have to eat this, I'm not allowed to have that, I can't have that, you're way more likely to self-sabotage. That's just what happens. When you put something as off limits, it just makes your brain want it 10 times more. So this is why autonomy is important, because it keeps you in control of your choices. You have to remind yourself, it is my choice. This is where the education comes in, of understanding that, one meal off your plan doesn't just ruin all your progress. One day of overeating doesn't ruin all your progress. A few missed workouts doesn't do shit. Missing your step goal a few times doesn't do shit. Understanding that. Also understanding that there's no good or bad food. Allowing yourself to indulge in the foods that you're craving in moderation, within reason, without being an asshole to yourself. Just boundaries. Choices that you have complete control over. 1,000%. You have control. Your mind is powerful. It's very powerful. But if you're struggling with overeating or binge eating, the thoughts that you're having are just thoughts. They cannot control what you do. You have to physically go to the fridge and put food in your mouth. Remind yourself that. You're in control. Thoughts cannot make you act. This is something that I do in my coaching program. I never give a meal plan because a meal plan is unrealistic and it just causes too much stress for people when they feel like they have to eat things, because realistically, it doesn't matter that much. Yes, you should have consistency in your diet because it's going to make your life easier, and you don't want to constantly be faced with decision fatigue because you're trying to come up with a million different meals to have. You don't need a ton of variety, but yes, allow yourself to, I always say keep 2 meals the same every day just to make your life easier, and then, okay, have one meal be whatever you're craving. That's just going to realistically help you achieve whatever fitness goal that you have more quickly. And It allows things to be on autopilot a little bit more, but you can still have a component of listening to your body and satisfying your cravings. You don't want to follow a meal plan because a meal plan is not real life, and if you achieve your fitness goals by following a meal plan and you don't understand calories in, calories out, and how nutrition works and how you got there, you're always going to think that you got those results because of the meal plan, when in reality, it's just a numbers game. The meal plan that whoever created for you or whatever you bought offline is just putting you in a calorie deficit. There's nothing special about those meals. It's just a calorie deficit. So that's why it's important to do trial and error with your own body and figure out the meals that you like, the meals that make you feel good, that satisfy you, that you actually enjoy eating. If you don't like what you're eating, how long are you going to stick to it? Another really important thing is being a cheerleader for yourself, feeling capable and successful, celebrating the small wins, the little things, the little habits that you're creating every day. You know, maybe you went out to eat and you didn't inhale your meal and you were actually more mindful and you stopped when you were full and you took the other half of your meal home. That's a win. Or you got on the scale and it was up a little bit and you didn't freak out. You literally just went about your day giving it no thought. That's a huge win. You want to acknowledge those things, and I encourage you to write them down when they happen, because that's the momentum that you need to keep going. You're not going to have big wins all the time. The small wins matter a lot more. They compound over time. Obviously, hopefully you're tracking your workouts and recording your PRs, so when you hit a personal record in the gym, that's exciting. When you have more energy because you're actually fueling yourself properly, that's a win. When you're having better sleep because you're allowing yourself to rest and recover and you're not working your body to death every single day, doing a ton of cardio and going to the gym 5-6 days a week, you're able to prioritize better sleep and feel better, be more energized, have a more regulated appetite. Those are wins. Another one that's non-scale related is when your clothes fit you better. Like, that is literally the best feeling in the world, when you can be getting ready for a night out and you go in your closet and you know that you can put anything on and feel good in it. That is the best feeling ever. Who fucking cares what the scale says? Another thing that can help is being part of a community, or having conversations with your loved ones or your friends, whoever you live with, so that you can feel supported on your journey. It's important to feel supported and understood by the people around you, because people do treat you differently when you embark on a health and fitness journey. I don't think people talk about that enough either. And a lot of times it comes from their own insecurities, when people impose their own views on you or try to make you feel negatively about wanting to better yourself. It's not about you, it's about them. So remind yourself that, and that's why it's important to have these conversations with people in your life that are closest to you, and obviously joining a community of like-minded people who have the same goals and are on the same journey is going to help you tremendously with motivation and just feeling good about what you're doing, and make it easier to show up every day. And that is another great part of my coaching program, is the community of girls that are all on the same journey, trying to do the same thing, supporting each other. Everybody's so nice. It's great. I highly recommend, even if it's not my program, joining a coaching program is going to give you that motivation and support that you need. And sometimes you don't even realize that you're lacking that until you take that step. But having that accountability is great. Even having a friend or accountability buddy, or maybe it's your romantic partner, but having that one person that you can go to feel supported when you're having a bad day, or somebody that you can celebrate your small wins with. It's a great way to build momentum and to keep that momentum going. Stress regulation is really important. I kind of touched on that a little bit, but regulating your nervous system is one of the best things that you can do if you are chronically stressed from work, relationship, whatever it may be. You gotta regulate your nervous system, and I highly recommend doing breath work. I do a 10-minute breath work session every morning. I'll link his channel in the description box, but I do one of his nervous system regulation breathing exercises every single morning. It's 10 minutes long. He has ones that range from 5 to 20 minutes, which I think is reasonable for anybody to do. You can take 5 to 15 minutes out of your day to do some breath work, because it will greatly impact your life in a positive way, I promise. I know it's just like annoying shit that you don't want to add on to your schedule, but it does make a huge difference. I notice a huge difference when I don't do it. I think we all know that stress is a silent killer. It's quite literally the worst thing that you can do for yourself is stress the fuck out of your body and your mind. So that's why it's important to meet your psychological needs. Being chronically stressed is going to increase your hunger, dysregulate your hormones, dysregulate your nervous system. Not good things for a fitness journey. Go for walks, journal, breathing exercises, meditation, yoga, little things like that where you can find little pockets in your day to do those things. I highly encourage you to do them. And you might have to be intentional about it. Maybe you have to put that in your schedule, a 20-minute meditation. Maybe you have to schedule that for yourself. Maybe you have to schedule a 20-minute walk to hold yourself accountable. I have talked about this so much, but setting boundaries is so important. Setting boundaries with yourself, your friends, your family, work. Don't allow other people to drain your energy so much that you have no time for yourself. Understanding your purpose and identity and how you want to show up. I kind of touched on this before, but if your fitness journey is just about shrinking yourself and making yourself the smallest version possible, likely will not lead to happiness, and you're going to lose motivation very quickly. When you tie in your goals with how you want to show up in the world, that's when you're more likely to stick with it. Like, I want to feel strong and healthy for my children, or I want to set a positive example for my kids, if you're a young mom. So what that looks like psychologically is a mindset shift. Shifting your focus from losing weight to becoming the type of person that shows up for their workouts, sticks to their calorie deficit, goes for that walk, does that breath work and self-regulation. It's important to look at the bigger picture and not just be thinking about the aesthetic purposes. You want to think about longevity, having more energy, fueling yourself properly, having a good mindset with food, having more confidence. These are just some additional resources and things that really changed my life and helped me work on my mindset a lot. Obviously, therapy is a huge one. Like I said, I've been in therapy pretty much my whole life. The book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, that hands down is the best book I've ever read. I've read it more than once. It's a great book. I highly recommend reading that. The book, The Untethered Soul, that's another really good one by Michael Allen Singer. Breathe with Sandy on YouTube, another great one. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I hope that I have convinced you to focus on fulfilling your psychological needs, because it's really important and it will make your fitness journey a lot more enjoyable and allow you to focus on the right things and prioritize the right things in your life and not just the aesthetics, because at the end of the day, looking a certain way is not going to guarantee your happiness. Feeling good about your routine and your habits and actually being able to enjoy your life, that is what is going to lead to happiness. So I think just making the best of the situation that you're in right now and meeting yourself where you're at and just trying to get a little bit better every day, not expecting perfection, and letting the results come with time, because they're going to come when you're focusing on the right things. I promise you that. But I hope this video was helpful, and if you would like accountability and you do want somebody to help you with mindset work and reframing, it is a huge part of my coaching program, and I absolutely love helping people to do this because I think that it's very underrated and people don't understand how important it is, and I have seen firsthand what it does for the women in my program, and it's truly amazing. So if you want that extra support and accountability, I'm going to leave my one-on-one coaching link in the description box. If you directly don't need coaching, but you have somebody in your life that you think might benefit from it, send them this video, send them my coaching link. Like, I would love to help anybody that I can truly live a happy and fulfilling life and feel good about their mind and their body. They go hand in hand. So yeah, I do what I do for a reason, and the more word that can be spread about it, the better. But that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it and you found it helpful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.